Rebecca Miller, and today I will be going over how to create a hyperdoc in Google Docs. By the end of this video, you will be able to manipulate the properties of a table and provide your students with a document with tons of different links that you would like them to access, both games, videos, and extra practice. To start, it is going to be extremely helpful if you already have a list of links to the websites you plan to have your students to visit. Let's get started.
To start your hyperdoc, you're going to first want to open up a Google document and give it a title so that it's easy to find later. Next, you're going to want to insert a table. I typically make my hyperdocs a 4x3 table. It gives students just enough activities to keep them occupied without having to repeat any activities for an extended period of time. I always put my title of my hyperdoc in the center so that it gives the hyperdoc more of a traditional board game look, so students know how to navigate around it easily with very little instruction. So to do that, you're going to first highlight your two center cells and right click on them and merge these cells. This will turn the two boxes into one solid box. After I do that, I tend to go and kind of do the basic formatting of my document. So I'm going to start with the page setup. So you go File, Page Setup, and change your page background color to whatever you would like it to be. However, when I do the page background, it also changes the background of each cell. So I'm going to highlight my whole table and I'm going to go to Format, Table, and then Table Properties. This is going to give me several different options such as the border color and the weight of the border color. So I'd like to make it a little bit thicker so that kids know where the defined boxes are. I also like to use a white background because oftentimes my cells include pictures and stuff, so it really helps those pictures pop. I'm also one who likes everything perfectly aligned to the center, and it just gives it a nice, neat look. So once you have set all your preferences for your table, you will click OK, and it will format everything as needed. So as I said before, I like to always put my title there in the center, which I'll come back and adjust the font size and all that later. I also like to use the first box as a start here kind of one that gives students further directions on what they need to do in order to successfully complete this hyperdoc. After that, we move into adding actual links to our hyperdoc. So I always give students a little bit of directions, like for this first cell, they're going to be visiting IXL and completing skills A1 and A3. I always like to include images because it just helps the document look a little more appealing to the eye. But when using a thing like IXL, it's a program the kids know very well and the symbol for it is very recognizable. So I also like to include the image. I usually screenshot the logo so the kids know exactly what IXL is as soon as they see it. So that's just a screenshot I took from IXL's website, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the IXL website and I'm going to copy and paste the link back onto my hyperdoc. So I'm going to want to make sure that the picture is highlighted, and then I'm going to click this chain link up here to actually insert the link. This is going to make it super easy for the kids to get to this because all they have to do is look at what skill I'm expecting them to complete, click on the image, and right there pops up the link that they will need to use in order to get to the website. I also like to use this last box as a box so where they can just know that they have finished the hyperdoc. I always say, yay, you finished. And then if there's ever extra time, they're always welcome to go back and play the games. Once you complete adding in all your links and images that you want, you can go back and kind of play with the formatting of how big the cells are, the size of your font, what style font you use, and any images that you use as well. So once everything is all said and done, your hyperdoc will look something like this. Now, like I said, I tend to use pictures because then the kids know, well, to get to the hockey game, I have to click on the hockey stick, and the link will pop up, and they know to click that link. To distribute my hyperdocs, I personally use Google Classroom. And the big key thing to that is you don't want kids being able to edit your hyperdoc that you spent time on and messing it up for all the other students who are using it. So you'll need to be careful and make sure you select that students can only view this file and not edit it.